Silent of fall! Liquid are doing it! They're gonna take! He's gonna bring down Burning! Alone with a double kill! Dropping fast! Spot avoids there! He's still alive! Wait, oh, second slide! He's going one side! He's going a second! He's taking it out! Oh my god! On three! They're all dead!
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Summit 2 by G2A.com. We're in the European region, and it's time for Cloud9 versus Alliance. Cloud9 sitting 2-2 in the group stage. Alliance, I believe, 2-4. Let me double check that real quick. Yeah, 2-4. So it's been a bit of a struggle for them. Cloud9 in better condition, but an important game for both teams. This win here brings Alliance back towards parity. They have had some of their tougher opponents early on, and they still get to go through some of the easier teams on paper as the group stage unfolds. Of course, I'm LD, and I'm joined here by Merlini. Ben, dress well underway. We'll see the Terrorblade for Cloud9 given away again. A lot of control for Alliance back the other direction in terms of Empower. Now Bloodlust. And you gotta imagine some sort of beefy melee carry for Loda.
I don't think they need to take Magnus in the first phase, though. Unless they don't want Terrorblade at all, which also might be a plan by Misery, so...
Maybe they just really like Ape Mother being on that hero.
Yeah, but I mean, it's alright, but I think there are better mid-heroes. And as we saw last game, it just wasn't that effective versus what Cloud9 had to offer, and they have very much, not the same opener, but two of the same heroes, Brewmaster and Terrorblade. So we'll see how Alliance wants to go through that. Again, they do have like big ultimates, Batrider, Magnus, and no carry yet for Loda. They actually tend to pick it last. So to me, it just seems like they didn't want the Terrorblade. They're like, okay, whatever, Cloud9, you guys can take it, because they didn't ban it out in the first phase. And in between these two teams, Terrorblade is a very hot pick, so it's going to be banned in the first phase or picked in the first phase.
Now the Bane. Cloud9, actually a support we just haven't seen much lately.
Why Bane?
Good lockdown for Mag and Bat, I suppose.
It's alright. He doesn't offer like great offensive capabilities or defensive. Like, yes, sure, he has grip, but Batrider Lasso, Batrider Flame Break, Magnus Skewer, RP, and Fire Blast. So you have 5 ways to interrupt grip in between 3 heroes, and 3 of them are AoE disables too. So like being able to channel a Fiend's Grip in a team fight, especially on a high priority hero like Anti-Mage, is almost just, you can't even count on it. Yes, for ganking, sure, but at the same time, like, he has to have good ways to get to the Anti-Mage, and he has Blink. So I don't think that's going to happen.
It could quickly become 8 ways. You've already got the Mana Void, potentially Anti-Mage gets a Basher, and yeah, there will be a lot more disables in the future, and the unrefined Fire Blast of Ogreman just to get that Aghanim Scepter.
He does have pure damage with his Brain Set, which is decent versus Anti-Mage, and he does have defensive Sleep, which is somewhat useful versus Terrorblade, but why not just pick Centaur first, wait for them to pick their carry, since Cloud9 has last pick, and then pick Shadow Demon. Shadow Demon is fantastic versus Anti-Mage, very good versus Batrider.
Sets up the stomp.
Yeah, just great defensively versus Magnus RP to save Terrorblade so he can pull off his Sunder, even Brewmaster so he can pull off his Split. I think Shadow Demon is a much more solid pick than Bane here.
I would agree with that.
But
Cloud9 clearly have a plan with it.
It might be Potom, I don't know.
But if you want that, you'd think you'd take that as the 4th pick. Because
yeah,
it would be a logical ban if Alliance feared it. They apparently don't. They banned the Dazzle. Good defensive support, and now what did Cloud9 do? Do they still go for like a Shadow Demon? Then you have kind of 2 setup supports, not really much damage from them.
Sand King. I say Sand King. They lack like big teamfight AoE. Sure, they have Centaur Stomp, but they still need follow-up damage, and it's really good protection for Terrorblade by having that huge damage output that everyone always has to worry about. Nice instant stun for Anti-Mage, but a little bit more magic damage versus Anti-Mage. Still, you need to clean up the other people somehow too. At the same time, doesn't really offer them offensive tri-lane capabilities, but it also plays well into Cloud9's greed. Oh, Leshrac ban. That's highly unusual. Worried about getting pushed, I suppose, but Leshrac is one.
There was a really good core Lesh. Who ran it? I think you were casting that game, right?
I don't think so.
Coddle got it.
No, I was not casting it. But they
Maybe
can't.
it was in America.
They can't fit in core Lesh into this lineup.
Yeah. Yeah, not for Alliance, but just a random aside, because it was played the other day and apparently was very effective. But at that point, you're looking at like a jungle Bat Rider and just really weird lanes, so that's definitely not going to happen. Alliance would like, I think a Shadow Demon for them wouldn't be too bad, honestly.
Yeah, Shadow Demon would be alright. But, I mean, they need, I would say a little bit more AoE to deal with Terrorblade illusions would be nice.
Maiden.
Crystal Maiden, Aki's Forte, or Misery, whoever wants to play it.
Gives you decent AoE to deal with the illusions of Terrorblade. A fairly aggressive support that can create a lot of space. Good to zone out Centaur early. They actually have some kill potential on this offlane Centaur.
Yeah.
I kind of like CM this game.
I don't like her for a few reasons. Firstly, Frostbite does nothing versus Brewmaster. Ideally, you'd want like another stun or silence so he doesn't get off split. Secondly, like all the slows, Crystal Nova and Freezing Field doesn't really do anything versus Centaur ult either. And thirdly, she doesn't have that much burst versus Terrorblade. Her second skill's a damage over time. But they play well with the Crystal Maiden. It makes her other lane stronger. And it gives like some early protection for anti-mage, and it gives them the option of playing greedily with their safe lane in case Cloud9 decides to go super greedy with theirs. So, yeah, there's some trade-offs. Cloud9 is looking for another support. Let's see, Bane plus what?
Mirana is still out there. Makes
Very-
them very single target heavy though for these supports.
Yeah, I'm thinking if they lack damage or not. Abaddon,
Good verse lasso.
they needed something defensive, I say, versus Terrorblade. But Abaddon is not my pick of choice just because he has such a low range. He can easily get caught in the RP.
One thing I will say is it's just kind of a passive laning stage for Cloud9. Like, who's going to go around doing anything? Whereas you compare that to Alliance, they have Crystal Maid and Ogre. These heroes can put a lot of pressure on the map. By the way, I do see some people saying they can't watch in Dota TV, guys. I'm not sure why that's the case. When I go to the Watch tab, it says the game's live. I do see the viewers column is empty. I've never heard of this issue before, so I'm not sure what the issue is.
It looks ticketed.
Yeah, it appears to be on the ticket. I'll drop a quick message to our admin. Game not viewable in Dota TV.
So the old Empower and Bloodlusted Anti-Mage, will he be able to carry? We'll see. Cloud9 immediately out of the gates. Storming down towards the bottom lane. I can work on introductions while you, if you need to send
No,
messages.
that's okay. I got it. So we got Cloud9 on the dire side. The Turtle Envy leading his squad. Currently 2-2 in the Summit 2. He'll have Bone 7 close behind him on that Centaur Warrunner. Fada again reprising his role as your brew. That puts Pinelight on the Abaddon. AUI 2000 the Bane. We might have a level 1 clash as the Alliance also move forward. Loda handling the Anti-Mage. That puts Misery onto the Crystal Maiden. He was fantastic on this here the other day. Aki, the Ogre Magi. Cloud9 starting to set up shop in the in the Radiant Woods. 8 Mother, your Magnus, and that does leave in the offlane Admiral Bulldog, but we may have this engagement. No, looks like Misery will retreat out. He's a bit slower. Fada just taunting him with that jug of booze, but not actually going to go in.
Still flailing his arms. Well, nice ward at the start. Maybe Alliance will... Oh, actually, they blocked 2 camps. So, no pull camp and no large camp for Crystal Maiden. Also, less stacking potential for Bat Rider later. But at the same time, their supports can also be very aggressive and move around and kill an early hero like, let's say, Terrorblade, or not really the Brew. Brew is just really difficult to kill.
Yeah, for now, Pylai Dai is on this bottom lane, so it looks like they may end up running dual lanes to start. Bone 7 probably going to join him. It'll be a Bane, Terrorblade, as well as a Crystal Maiden, Abaddon. How do you think these dual lanes are going to work out? Is this a good way to approach it? Because we see an aggressive tri-lane coming.
In Cloud9's offlane, it's 2 melee versus a Bat Rider. Bulldog can't really get that much CS just because Centaur has fairly high base damage. So I think it'll be pretty good for Cloud9 there. In the top lane, though, I don't know. How are they going to save EE? Or at least secure his farm?
Oh, run away, that's how. He's already used the level 1 Metamorphosis, but he won't really be able to last hit too much with this. Not against this tri-lane. He'll try for now. Ake lurching forward a bit, looking for this AUI 2000 go. No, they really want to turn line beat. That's going to be the more important kill. They frostbite him. They've got a fire blast. Oh no, they actually ignite. That'll work though. That'll do the trick. Eternal Enemy goes down. Easy first blood for Alliance.
Yeah, that's just.
And now they TP and they bat him, but it's damage already done.
This is where, like, what does Bane do at this point? I don't know why he got level 1 Brain Sap, to be fair. He could have gotten level 1 Sleep and it would have maybe helped, but still, they just can't save them from bum rushing EE. EE might switch to the jungle at this point. Actually, he doesn't have any points of evolution, so he can't.
Yeah, what's he going to do? No Quelling Blade either. I mean, he's already picked up a TP scroll, but he walks back to the top lane. They may want to lane swap this, but well, if Anti-Mage has those supports bottom, he's not going to have any better luck there. Guys, for those asking for Dota TV, it is ticketed. For some reason, it's not showing up. We can't fix it ourselves. It sounds like it's a Valve issue, maybe a server problem. So we really do apologize to all the ticket holders. I'm hoping the replay will still at least work, but for now, we're not going to ask the players to remake. There's already been a first blood drawn, and we'll just have to hope that whatever the issue is, Valve's able to sort it out. You have our apologies, though. Out of our control.
Wait, so why did they switch low to bottom? I thought they were doing a good job of shutting down Terrorblade, and even with Abaddon there, I still think they can shut down Terrorblade, or at least limit his farm, but we'll see.
So they think it's enough? Like, just get first blood? Okay, we're good?
I don't think so. It's only like 2 minutes in a game.
Yeah, it's a zero. It was like a 1 minute first blood.
Look, they're already playing super greedily and using this creep pull too, and they're just like, oh, whatever, we're just gonna pull mass.
Why did they back off?
I don't know.
Maybe they thought that they only could get away with it because of the Abaddon not being there. And, like, maybe they don't trust their tri-lane otherwise, but it's a strong tri-lane. It's a Crystal Maiden Ogre.
Yeah, it is dual melee, though. But at the same time, C9 doesn't really have any true range here.
And this makes the wards of C9 more relevant now. Like, those wards were wasted when they're aggressive, but now they could come into play. Although Misery is leeching his experience top lane. It's all around awkward for Alliance, and now Loda and Anke will have to split experience here bottom.
Yeah, they had a really good start against Terrorblade. They forced out the Metamorphosis. He got like 1 creep with it, if even, and then he had to walk all the way back to lane. So they really limited his farm and his levels, and right now he's almost level 3, like caught right back up. And killing Bone 7 is not very important, and I don't actually think they can kill him. Well, especially not with Crystal Maiden up top. Well, maybe they want to secure a better farm for Batrider, I suppose. I don't know. He could have an okay time with Centaur. I'm still very... I'm sure they had their reasons.
It just seems weird, honestly. But, yeah, it's one of those things where, unless you guess the players, it's hard to say. They at least have a hero that can use the jungle, so, yeah, that's the one nice thing. Is you at least get a little bit extra for your Crystal Maiden. They'll go in bottom lane onto Bone 7. Rather aggressively. Still holding that Sun. They're going to use the Fire Blast now and continue to chase. Don't know if they quite get this kill. He doesn't have any more mana to burn. You know, they'll back off.
Oh,
meanwhile, Skirmish, Skewer up onto the high ground. Pylai die on a cliff. There's no other way to cancel a TP. Yet, Frostbite can't get in range.
Wow, he had another TP scroll? I bet they're wondering the same thing. Like, he had a TP to go top, and then after that, like, what does he really need a TP for? Not to save Fada. And probably not to save Bone 7, because usually they just leave Bone 7 alone. So
and there's no pressure top, so you don't need to save anything there.
Yeah, well... I mean,
he's got another TP. This is going to be his 3rd of the game. To see 3 TPs on a support having been used or purchased by 4 minutes is just insane.
So Bulldog will end up switching to the top lane, but, I mean, Terrorblade's already caught up in farm. He's actually #1 in CS after giving up first blood.
Don't give EE Sama any room to farm on Terrorblade. And if you do, then you better make sure you're getting a good trade. I do think Alliance are getting a decent trade. Their anti-mage is farming pretty well. They have Empower Bloodlock, so in theory the late game could still be theirs with the Batrider, great initiator to boot. But it does, well, I mean, I guess at this point we're beating a dead horse. It does seem a little odd just to let them go back to free farming.
But we'll see. Maybe they're scared of just Terrorblade, like hitting level 3 and then just whopping them with Metamorphosis. Terrorblade is scary.
Yeah, and the one thing that the Terrorblade brings to the table that Anti-Mage doesn't is he actually sieges towers very early, so... just with the basic items of Metamorphosis, he can lay in and potentially obtain objectives. An area where Alliance struggle until Anti-Mage gets farmed. They don't kill towers quickly.
So Bone 7 getting his levels, almost level 6 on the bottom lane, and with Stampede it's actually pretty hard to kill people. Like Batrider won't be able to jump on people until they have Blink. Same with Magnus. He can skewer, but people can Stampede away. And which Ogre Magi also has Max Ignite over Fire Blast, so they're relying on a lot of slopes to get these kills.
Against Stampede, yeah.
And Abaddon.
That's a good point. Well, for now, there's no Stampede, but he is getting close to that. As the Pressure slowly mounts in the bottom lane. Eternal Envy, 38 CS. He's 8 CS up on the Anti-Mage. Net worth-wise, Anti-Mage did get that first blood, so he remains close here, but he's already been surpassed.
I wonder what Anti-Mage is going to go for. He has 1,300 gold. Could easily buy Treads or Ring of Health if he wanted to, and still have unreliable gold, so not completely sure what Loda's waiting for. Maybe he might be saving for a Midas, for all I know.
Yeah, the CTY Midas Anti-Mage.
Midas Anti-Mage is not that bad.
If you could get it really fast. This isn't that fast, though. 6.5 minutes already.
Yeah, but at the same time, there's not going to be that much pressure, because they're going to have a Terrorblade farming on their own, too. So
True.
It's not the worst thing I've seen.
Yeah, and Anti-Mage, obviously, with the kind of backup he has from Cleave as well as Bloodlust, could take this pretty damn late. I'm still not convinced he'll out late game a Terrorblade even with that, but
There's a Ring of Health. Well, the thing is, he can cleave his illusions really fast with
That's true.
his spells, and if he mantas like on top of the Anti-Mage will just kill him. So that's cool. Well, 3-man smoke, 8 Mother, level 7 on top, level 2 Skewer.
this would get him near his Blink Dagger. And Eternal Envy, he's been free farming, Ben. They're back up waiting for him. Skewered, pile driven in, they get the 2 hero RP. 8 Mother delivers once more, but maybe not delivering quite enough as they lost their Bat Rider while that was happening and will end up sleeping 8 Mother. Do they continue to engage? Doesn't look like it's the case. Yeah, Brew Split was used to kill off the Bat mid lane during that time.
Worth it. They use Stampede and Brew ult.
Just for a Bat kill. And they get the Terrorblade kill as well.
That was a very nice Skewer and RP by Mag.
It does mean an early Blink Dagger for the Brew, though. Yeah, 8 Mother's Mag has been on point, and he's even managed to stack his Ancients up for Loda. Doing his work all across the map to play that S4 role.
What patch was that? The Mag Anti-Mage?
Mag Anti-Mage patch? Thought it caught out. Gets the 3 here. Cloud nearly kills off 8 Mother. Doesn't get that final crit. They're going to have to chase further. Shockwave. They'll get it. Was that the TI3 patch?
I think so.
So 6.78?
Yeah, probably. That, I mean, they were really good in that patch. It looks like they're just borrowing strats from that. That was one. Bat Rider was really popular too. Crystal Maiden. Not Ogre. Ogre's the only new element.
Yeah, he's definitely the new kid on the block.
Terrorblade.
Although in the hands of a very old veteran. Wily veteran.
The siege is top. Can they stop this? Probably not with just Misery.
I'll try to slow it down, but Eternal Envy could just keep on conjuring new illusions every few seconds and maintain this momentum. So they bring in reinforcements. RP is going to be up in 20. No Blink Dagger, though. And this time, Eternal Envy is going to have more backup behind him. The Bane, who now has a grip online, Pylai Die end position to shield him if need be. They may go for round 2 here soon. Although it seems they're a bit nervous with several heroes from Alliance off the map right now.
Fought 20 seconds on his ult. Magnus, his ult is up. So both these guys have TP scrolls and are ready to roll in case there's action in the sidelines. And Loda just farming away.
Okay, working on those jungle creeps. Both teams settling into a farming rhythm, and we could be in for a long game. Just looking at the drafts, analyzing the teams' play styles. I don't know for sure, but I'm guessing that these teams have a much longer average match time than most.
Well,
at least most against other tier 1 teams.
They also, because of this, they also lose really quickly too, though.
But nobody's trying to win right now, right?
Oh yeah, I mean, like in between for just these two teams, yeah. But I thought you meant like on average.
Oh yeah.
On average versus.
That's
Cloud9.
true. Well, specifically in the context of this game, there will be pickoff attempts. We'll see. Probably every time the Brew Split, the Stampede is up, they'll go for kills on the side of the Dire, and for the Radiant, every time
There's
RC
smoke.
and Bat Lasso's ready.
From Aoi and Fada and
Got revealed. Nice
well,
job by Bulldog there.
saves. I guess it saves Loda's life. Probably.
He's gone for the Perseverance first. Didn't even complete Tread, so it's a bit of an earlier battle for Rush. But it leaves him very vulnerable to these ganks. He has gone for an early point in stats. Expect to see more for him.
The only way he can really die, though, is if Centaur gets a blink, which is actually very soon, or if Bane finds a grip on him, which should be very difficult for him to pull off. So Anti-Mage going for the 2-2-1 build. I've seen him pick up 2 points of mana break very often. Usually it's only 1.
Good to zone out the offlane Centaur, or at least make sure he doesn't have mana, but Does leave you a bit squishier at this stage of the game.
Well, is he going to be able to get his Blink Dagger in time?
They've got the RP online. They reveal 8 Mother, and everybody disconnects from Alliance. Team House offline, instant pause.
That's awkward. That was a smoke gank that was probably going to fail anyways. So, I mean, at this point, they just have to back. C9 is going to be completely prepared for it. All you need to do is just, if you're really scared, just stampede out. So, yeah.
That would have most likely been a kill on Bone 7.
I don't know. How does he get to him, though? Like, he has to hit this, like, amazing skewer, level 3 skewer.
At this point, I think you just back.
The
jig's up.
They have to. Well, they don't know that yet. Really bad timing.
Unfortunate here for Alliance, and could be a long pause with 5 players disconnected. Don't know if someone tripped over a router. Honestly, what's going on? I'm gonna check the Twitterverse. Let's see what's happening. Nothing yet. And for those who are still wondering, since I'm continuing to get tweets, guys, we have Dota TV enabled for this game. For whatever reason, it's just not working. So stop yelling at us. If you want to yell at somebody, we don't have the technology to fix this. And actually, there's 1 viewer in game, so somebody's getting to watch. It's in Dota TV. I mean, that's all we can do is we choose the server. Cyborg Matt has been talking to Valve. Apparently, according to him, there's an issue with that server cluster that the Luxembourg region that we're using to host the game. So hopefully it gets resolved soon. We're not trying to force you to watch the stream. Don't worry, guys. Hopefully Valve will get it fixed.
Well, they're offline, I believe, but they also could just be offline because they don't want to be spammed during the game.
Yeah, considering this is a 5-man disconnect, it could be a long downtime, though.
Not sure.
Not sure. Well, what do you got for me?
I don't know. Curious to see how this game will turn out, first and foremost. I haven't seen, like, an Anti-Mage versus Terrorblade matchup. Especially, there's all these, like, weird factors into, like, Bloodlust and Power, and EE dying a little bit at the start, and C9 not really having that great of any sort of late game to this Bane pick that didn't make sense at all.
I'm a little worried about the C9 supports. Baden will be good defensively. Bane can be a nice player in these fights, but you know you're getting a lot out of your Ogre with Bloodlust automatically. The multicast stun can bring a lot to the table, and Alliance is, like, the backbone of their team fight late game is just stronger. Magnus, Batrider. Eventually these heroes just offer you a lot more than a Brew and a Centaur. But that's where the mid game for C9 could be where they leave their mark.
Yeah, I like Alliance that supports a lot more than Cloud9's. Abaddon Bane, they also offer no offensive potential, or very little, rather. Maybe grip, but it's difficult to pull off without a smoke.
Still no tweets or any sign of life here from Alliance.
Well, their internet might be down.
Yeah, I mean, usually you have, like, your cell phone at least. How do you think we communicated when we...
Please, remember DK and their training session? They were banned from cell phones before TI.
That's before TI, though, man. Come on. That's no excuse.
Come on, this is before the Summit land.
This is serious business.
Who knows what's going on with these guys?
Tough times here for Alliance. Well, guys, since we have no sign of when they may return, it could be a long pause. We're going to cut to a break here. Mostly because I'm just exhausted, frankly. But we'll come back as soon as the game returns. Alliance versus Cloud9 continuing, hopefully, soon. It seems the gods have mercy for the viewers out there, as if they already connected the second that we said we'd go to a break. So no actual break required. 5 players back in. Cloud9 doing their best to plug the Alliance sponsors for them. A little dance game action. Bulldog, pretty salty about this one.
Bulldog's Blink Dagger will be coming up soon too. He just needs to take out, I think, 1 more stack, maybe 1.5 more stacks, and then he'll be okay. So Alliance just proceeding. Need to proceed a little bit slowly. Get Loda his good old Battle Fury, just a Claymore away. And yeah, that gank on top is just donezo.
They do have their Magnus Blink still, but you show the Magnus like that, and you know he's not alone. RP's been off cooldown for a little while. You want to make plays happen with that if you're Alliance, and well, with that failing, Loda's also going to back off. He retreats through his own woods. Does he have any more Battle Fury components?
He
Already has the
broadsword.
broadsword. That's going to be a fast Battle Fury.
So net worth wise, Anti-Mage is actually slightly ahead of Terrorblade. They're like very similar in CS, but Terrorblade's been doing Utes a little bit more. And are they actually going to bring in Loda too? Or are they are they doing a stack? I don't think so. Or are they?
Can he do it? I don't think he can even do it.
No way. I mean, he has to pull it. He has to like pull it outside of range and attack it as it's going back in. But it's going to be a slow process.
Just doing his own stack. Wow. Maybe if they let the Magnus tank it.
Well,
still, it's very slow.
It's a very appropriate time too, because Centaur just picked up his blink and they're invading the opponent's jungle too. So, I guess if you can't farm your own jungle, then okay, they backed off. What? Did it? Ancients do a lot of damage. That was a lot of time wasted.
They need to let the Ogre tank, man. 7 armor.
That's true.
7 armar. Still more than the
Please just let him cleave it down. Let him empower and club it.
Let him club the Ancients.
That's what he does.
Oh,
He's the clubber.
He's not that strong.
So Loda, yeah, very close to his blink. This is somewhat dangerous position for him, especially if Bone 7 were sitting on top of the hill. But he is not. He will farm safely. Batrider, blink online. No smoke yet.
Double blinks online with the Magnus as well. Good time for them to get aggressive, but C9, I think they're pretty damn good at disengaging at this stage. They have Stampede, they have Grip, they have the Shield, they have the Brewmaster Split.
RP is king for 3 seconds.
Yes. And if they combine these spells, it's enough lockdown that you're most likely not stampeding away to freedom. Speaking of Stampede, Bone 7 may need to use it soon. He's being pursued out. Batman on the hunt. Blinking forward, yeah, there's your Stampede. So a Blink Dagger for 4-hero rotation and a Stampede. Not too shabby. Or Blink Dagger usage, I should say.
Yeah, and it's Cloud9 making very good use of the jungle. EE picked up his Yasha, and they're almost neck and neck, Anti-Mage and Terrorblade in terms of their farm. Both of them trying to dodge these blink ganks, and Anti-Mage will have his Battle Fury after the Centaur camp.
Yeah, Eternal Envy micro in those treads, switching to Intel treads if he feels like he's a bit low on mana. Now conjuring some more images with strength treads on, just so they tank a bit better. And just doing his thing in the jungle. They're not really taking towers, though. Top lane, they're thinking about a slow siege here. They do have a Brewmaster Split. Blink in to clap the start, focusing on Misery. Pops the... Well, just has enough mana, I guess, to...
I'm surprised he didn't use it right there.
It's a free kill, but...
It's a free kill and a free tower, I think. But... maybe he just doesn't want to use it on a CM.
I don't know about that. There's still Glyph.
Yeah.
They have the Bat Lasso. RP is ready.
So it would have been like a, what, 3-on-5 if they wanted to commit everyone for that?
Yeah, and also would Alliance realize that there's not the entire team there? Yeah, that's not clear. Cloud 7, now bottom lane, will begin to backstab the creep wave, I should say. As they'll push in, looking for the tier 1 tower here. It may be your first tower takedown of the game. 14.5 minutes, Finally Dying Bone 7 combining. And while that happens, Anti-Mage has completed a very fast Battle Fury. Loda actually has his Battle Fury before he's even max Blink. That's how quickly he's gotten it.
Yeah, 15 minutes is mediocre with First Blood, I say. He's had to play as more carefully than he would have liked, for sure.
They go in bottom lane, they use their Stampede, but can't find the stomp on Bulldog. He also got the tower tonight. Big plays from the dog. And with no Stampede, maybe they even lumber in, look for a little Ogre pickoff. Thinking about it.
It's difficult.
Alliance can't get in range.
With Abaddon right there, he's just going to try and immediately shield him after. They can't go on Abaddon because he's already sick. Uh-oh, Misery.
Caught out top lane by Sleep. Now a grip to come through from AOI 2000 rotation here for the Magnus. RP, skewer him back into the tower. Brainsap still lurking. He'll use it. Not enough, though. Double edge to secure that, but Bone 7 may pay with his own life. There's a Shockwave ready in 2 seconds. Blink Dagger online. That is not worth it at all. He's got to juke this one. Blinking forward, then Shockwaving back. Get the hell off my top lane, says 8 Mother. And leave my poor Crystal Maiden alone. Now, well, Fada wants to fight, but
It's weird that they committed a grip to solo CM kill, but not the Panda ult.
yeah, that is interesting. I mean, grip at this stage it's pretty important.
They're the same, I'd say. Well, Panda's a little bit better for team fights, but similar enough cooldown.
Yeah.
Still getting that tower is pretty big for C9.
You're not likely to have a huge 5-on-5 engagement at this stage. Terrorblade will be off on his own. Anti-Mage will be off on his own. Both heroes will just be focused on farming. Speaking of that Anti-Mage, they get a nice Observer Ward here for the Dire side. And in general, Cloud9 with the better warding game in general. They have that ward. There's also a lane ward at top, and they do have an idea if their Terrorblade could get ganked. They have eyes where the Anti-Mage could be, but they can't easily use that vision to their advantage, it seems.
Cleave, 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 stack, stack, stack.
Alliance Dodo. This could be a rather slow to develop mid game. And then I guess it does. Do you think Alliance have the slate with the better, arguably the better team fight? RP is king, all that.
It's about the plays. I think both teams are pretty close to even. But does he hit big RPs or does he not? Does Panda have like godly initiates, or does Batrider lasso and they kill him before? It just all depends on how the fight boils down. I think in terms of lineup, I don't like C9s that much, but I don't think that lineup will make that big of a difference in the late game. Because Crystal Maiden is going to be not that much of a factor.
That's true, and if Ogre's not getting multicast, he's basically just a walking Bloodlust. Which he still has not leveled up. Okay, going for the 2 points in Ignite. Generally we see at least a value point in Bloodlust. But not the case here.
Yeah, that's good. Actually, Freezing Field is pretty good too. And with Crystal Maiden going for Midas, he might have like a Blink BKB at some point, and they might have to expend a grip on him. So it's actually, CM might prove to be more useful than we suspect.
C9 not going particularly greedy, to be honest. No Midases for them. We saw Brewmaster Midas last game for them. Skewer from 8 Mother just to push Pylai Die. Give me that bounty rune.
I think that with Cloud9, if they can, they should ward off the Ancients. That is a huge source of income for Midas that Cloud9 has just been completely ignoring. And they can't use their own Ancients, so it's not like they're really trading that much. But
and it's an advantage the Anti-Mage has over Terrorblade. He can
Misery.
Oh.
Misery's gone.
Well, no Midas for you, sir. That's not happening. The Stampede to retreat out. Not really necessary, but just to secure it. But yeah, going back to your point about the Ancient stacks, it's also an advantage the Anti-Mage has over Terrorblade. He has Empower, he knows Vlad's. He can clear huge stacks much quicker, and especially the Ancients compared to the Terrorblade.
Pressuring mid lane, knowing those two fat Blink initiators are bottom.
Vlad's now being sent out as Ake tries to hold the line top. Will he get a tower deny here? Illusion's working quickly to bring this one down, and they do get it. No deny in sight.
Yep, not versus 4 illusions. Good luck.
Meanwhile, mid lane, an Invis Fada hunting the Bulldog. He'll walk in, almost block him repeatedly. Bulldog has to know something's up if he's watching his hero. And he just starts sticking Napalm anyway. I guess just not very worried about the potential for Fada to kill him. Even if Fada gets that kill, it's a Brewmaster ult for a Batrider.
You know what pick would have been good for Alliance instead of CM? An Earthshaker.
Oh, yeah.
Earthshaker would have owned. It's like huge combo potential with Magnus, great lockdown for Terrorblade, great lockdown for
Don't forget about those
even.
Empower Enchant Totems.
Yeah, it would have been really good for them actually.
Wouldn't be right-clicking too much in practice. Fada blinks in, he will use his clap, but a quick retreat out from the Bulldog. Secures his safety and creates space here for Loda, off split pushing the top lane. Right now the tower advantage is 2-0, and they're looking to find a pick-off. Well, maybe not a pick-off, just a tower defense.
But Anti-Mage is getting more farm than Terrorblade is.
He should continue to pull ahead, I would imagine.
Higher mobility, more stacks, availability of Ancients. Well, it's just slightly easier to farm Ancients on Radiant side, too. Cool.
You do see that Cloud9 is trying to slow down the anti-mage's farm, like dropping this aggressive Observer Ward. They had one here, but then they just don't really have like the heroes to follow.
Why don't
it
they
up.
just block the spawns? I mean, if
I guess worried about easy B wards, but
there's always sneaky places you can place it. I think it's worth sacrificing the farm of the supports, like especially Abaddon. Just buy 5 sentries down.
oh, this would be a huge grip on the Loda bottom lane. The Brew split thrown out as well. I think Loda might live through this anyway. No, close. Not quite enough. Now they last with AUI 2000. They get a turn here. Brew focusing on Misery. And in from the top comes 8 Mother with the skewer. Pulling AUI 2000 back towards the tower. There's an RP. Won't be used. Cancels that one. He's been very diligent about reserving his RP for must-use situations.
Yeah, that was a huge.
Still,
huge
the
deal.
anti-mage goes down, though. Big pick off there.
That was actually slow response. He was gripped for the entire 5 seconds. So if someone TPs immediately, it should be 3, and then like a blink interrupt should be like 3.5 maybe. So I'm surprised that he didn't survive there. Especially considering it was right next to his D2. They can't let Cloud9 get away with that at all.
Yeah, that's a good point. They probably should have a support behind him at all times. Like Ogre, or even Crystal Maiden with the Midas. And, you know, she'll get her farm anyway, just from using the Midas.
Or just better wards.
Yeah, that's the area where they have struggled a bit. And I guess part of that maybe goes to the point of, well, their jungle's already been invaded. They don't have that much map control. They do get a Bulldog gem, which can reward effectively, but these supports simply have put their gold into other places. Like, you buy the Midas, you only now have money for wards.
Roshan getting the beat down by Fada E.
Brew's such a beast. Tanking this one while EE does all the heavy hitting. He'll secure an Aegis. Now works towards that Eye of Scotty and closes in on it rather rapidly. While Loda, about dead even after that Roshan. He was way ahead. Well, not way ahead. He was like 1,200 gold up. Now it's a 70 gold lead. About to be Eternal Envy's advantage.
Not looking as good for Loda here. Not at all.
They bring 4 heroes towards top. Ogre, also likely to join them. For now, rotating through a secret shop. It's going to be a 5-man push. Cloud9 not defending their tier 1 tower. Did they defend anything else? Did they use their glyph, by the way? Or did they not bother?
I'm not sure. It wouldn't have mattered.
They waste, or did they use it earlier? Yeah, I mean, it wouldn't have mattered. Just would have delayed Alliance a few seconds. Yeah. Not important. Anyway, Loda gonna TP out. Cloud9 farming their woods during this time, and they have done what you were wondering, which is, should they just block the jungle? Well, they've blocked it, baby. I think this is almost every camp taken out.
And then, but they have a gem on Bulldog now, so he should just swoop in D-ward. Oh, Fada! He's invis.
Is the gem up on Bulldog, though, right? Does he still have it? Yeah. Gotta be cautious about that. Could have ended very poorly for Fada. In fact, it might still. Although Bad alone will not take down this crew. They'll need some support. I love Ogre sound effects.
Loda,
I feel like the beast lumbering.
Bulldog going into D-ward.
He's got a little help at his side. Crystal Maiden will be assisting him in that endeavor. And they'll start clearing out these camps. To be fair, I mean, warding the camp sounds great, but a bat with the gem makes it almost impossible to keep these D-wards
it's
up.
still blocked 2 minutes of it. It's blocked 23 and 24 minutes, and with a Sentry Warrior, Matt's going to block 3. So still got 2 out of 3. That's pretty good.
I think part of that was also that Alliance just weren't in their jungle, though. They were all top.
Worth it.
Yeah, definitely worth it. How much pressure are Cloud9 under? Do they need to force something with this Aegis?
No, they're taking towers, basically. Terrorblade's getting his Scotty. They can if they want to, but Terrorblade's not that great of a damage holder just because he won't have any respawns. I mean, he's still not bad, he's just not ideal. And it could put them in a risky position, especially with Magnus. So I wouldn't say that they have to use with it. It's just nice to start the timer ticking so they get the cheese earlier. Which is, I say far more useful for Terrorblade. Aegis is still really good. You don't have to blow your Metamorphosis early.
We'll finally engage. We're looking at kill number 12 in a 25-minute game. Grip was used by AUI, not particularly effective. So now the Grip's down. The tower going to go the way of the Radiant Alliance. Just kind of collecting a freebie from Cloud9 here. Despite having Aegis, not in position to contest that. A lasso, kill, and then a a simple retreat out. That's exactly what you want to do if you're Alliance. Just wait out the Sages, find pickoffs in the meantime. Let your Midas advantage start to kick in on Misery.
But A&T Mage is now almost 2,000 gold ahead of Terrorblade.
Yeah, that's a completed Manta style for Loda, and he will continue to split push as quickly as possible here.
But 2,000 of his gold is into a Vlad's, so that's not great for him. Ideally, Magnus or Crystal Maiden or Urger would have picked it up so he can work on his true 6-slot items.
Yeah, I would agree with that. It's good for now, and it helps accelerate his farm speed, but it does mean he'll have to get eventually some sort of replacement, let another hero buy a new Vlad's to remain equally on par with the Terrorblade.
I don't really think it's fun to spend him all that much by the Vlad's. I don't think it pays for itself. Maybe for Ancients, but he has power. He just kills things so quickly.
Yeah, he'll maybe lose like a third of his health killing an Ancient stack at most. Mana does get caught out here. They RP him as well. That's not going to be a Brood split. Won't have it ready. Mana Void comes through. Pilot Eye with a fresh and shiny Blink Dagger. These illusions doing a lot to heal him back up. His ult's now down, but Eternal Envy into the base, forcing out a glyph in the meantime. Everybody scattering and looking to retreat. 8 Mother able to TP out. They Blink Stump just seconds late on that. Now stampeding, force staffing forward. Double edges there, but they don't have a Stomp. They do have a grip, however. They can't get in range. Loda will retreat.
Do they kill him with a grip? I don't think so.
No, I don't think so.
Oh, actually, well, Pilot Eye's... Never mind, Pilot Eye doesn't really do that much.
Yeah, Brain Sap. He'd probably be down to what, like a third HP? And then he just mantas and blinks out. I think that's how it would go. Well, they get a nice objective there. Taking down the Brewmaster, doing a bunch of damage to the tower, about 700 to be exact. A little bit less than that. And they also have kept up their Ancient stacking. Something that we saw the Brewmaster earlier. It's not like Cloud9 haven't tried to slow down Loda. They've been warding the jungle. The Fada came in and tried to steal the Ancients a few times. The aggressive ward placements just to scout his rotations. But it's just a math problem. A melee hero with Cleave and Blink just outfarms pretty much anyone.
Yeah, and Terrorblade is getting the towers, but it's highly unlikely that Alliance won't get the other towers later. So
yeah, at some point, if he manages to take those 4, then that's a lot of additional gold that EE doesn't really have access to. There's only 2 outer towers for him to potentially take.
Scotty completed. Metamorphosis is almost up. This might be their time to group up. But grouping up versus Mag just could prove dangerous.
They go in now, finding Ake. Force Staff was used, I think, by the Crystal Maiden to try and keep him alive. But the RP! The 8 Mother RP! So damn good! Is it good enough? EE actually gonna turn on Loda, finishing him off. That was a perfect RP! But they just don't have the firepower yet to fight against Eternal Envy on his Terrorblade. They'll finish off 8 Mother. They lose 2 cores.
He sundered Loda, and that was really nice by Aoi to disable the mag immediately after the RP so he couldn't skewer them back to tower, because that's what they were waiting for.
Yeah, would have brought him out of range of the Pilot Die reinforcements as well, or just killed him off during that time. But they'll take the tower now. Cloud9, they know RP's on cooldown. Buyback status is that 3 on the Radiant have it, 5 on the Dire have it, and it looks like C9 are going to brute force it. Despite having less net worth on the Terrorblade, we could see with this item build that he just hits a lot harder in team fights, even with a perfect RP. But that said, Eternal Envy will go down, it looks like. Yeah, doesn't have Sunder ready. Highlight Die trying to keep him alive, unable to do so. It's a buyback force out from the anti-mage. I'm not sure if he needed to use that. His team kind of defended without him, but he will pop it anyway. Loda now, chasing on AUA 2000. Would love to get, well, he should get this 1 kill, but would really prefer to get 2 or 3 neutrals. Will they get the deny? He brain saps, which just makes sure Loda gets in for those last few slices. But it brings the net worth back towards parity, forcing out that AM buyback.
So the Abaddon was probably picked to counter the Batrider, but this is what happened. He blinked in, he lasted out the Terrorblade, he force staffed, and the Abaddon tried to blink in and shield him, and he still couldn't do it. So
just Batrider things.
Yeah, it's just try and counter in other ways.
Yeah, or maybe just consider, even before it gets to that point, I guess is the solution. I was going to say maybe don't give him away to Alliance, but I'm not sure it's something you necessarily want to be banning. It is a strong hero.
Well, they should take, I think, 2 towers off the back of this, and potentially Roshan. Roshan's spawn timer 123. So, just almost exactly in the middle. If it were up right now, huge luck, boost of luck for Alliance. But it is not.
They'll try for this push. Loda picks up an Ogre Club. An interesting diversion for him. Looks like he'll go for more of the combat anti-mage style. Pick you up a BKB likely next. Probably from there into your Butterfly Abyssal Blade.
Well, he still has to worry about, what, Sleep, Sap, Centaur, everything.
Right clicks.
Drunken Haze and Clap.
Yeah, there's an AC complete on the Brewmaster. He crits pretty hard. I think there's a lot of physical damage to worry about. BKB won't help you against that.
Yeah, in theory, the Terribly should be disabled by the Mag, or Bat Rider, or both, or multicast. So, I'm not sure if I like the KD pickup here. I mean,
it seems slightly odd also just because it looked like their draft was designed just to out-late game C9, if anything.
Yeah, but at the same time, they were very close on the verge of losing their T3 and their racks. So maybe he just doesn't want to take any risks and can't count on Mass Force staff to save him like what normally happens.
Thing is now with BKB and Vlad's, like, aren't they almost obligated to fight? Terrorblade has gone purely for late game items. Eagle Song, Butterfly coming. Anti-Mage now with, what is that, like 5k gold? 6k gold into kind of mid-game-ish type fighting items.
This Roche is going to be big. Neither team can give it up. Their carries are way too important.
We're going to back Eternal Envy off. Send him to the top lane to do a little bit of D-pushing. While C9 continue to hang out near the pit.
He doesn't have a TP skill, so potentially they could take it without EE being there.
But do they find that opening to go in? Do they just walk into the pit? Okay, that's one way to do it. We're going to have a skirmish now. Eternal Envy will start suddenly realizing that he needs to get to that pit quickly, but it may be too late. The multicast using Loda, he gets bashed. Oh, those bashes are really unfortunate. This could turn it against them. Fada looking for the leap in. He's got the initiation ready to go. Lasso used to start this one off. Bone 7 barely getting off the Stampede at the end there as your anti-mage flicks forward off. Focusing on Eternal Envy, burning his mana, but he's still able to just turn around and pound through most of these backlines. He's lost 2 teammates. He cleans up the rest of those Manta illusions. Continues to fight the Mana Voids there. Eternal Envy gets off his Sunder and ends up killing off Loda as a result. Continues to duke it out. 8 Mother will die. 2 big cores expending. Roshan still over half HP.
That RP was lackluster from 8 Mother. He really needed to get the Terrorblade in there, but he only got the Bane. And I think that cost him the fight.
They're going to rotate Highlight Die around. Looking for the additional pick off here in Misery, who has a 4-staff, will use it now. No teleport scroll, can try and buy one. Is he going to actually get out? Yeah, they've got no TPs. Or no way to cancel TPs, so he will end up escaping successfully in the end. Nice play by him, and this opens up Cloud9's chance to roach. There is a lasso ready, but it might be, well, by the time Bullock gets there, but it'll be great.
Fada didn't even use Gamma Split. He wasn't even there for the majority of the fight. And yeah, he just got whacked by the Brewmaster. Loda did.
Yeah, that's for sure. Butterfly now picked up on the Terrorblade. C9 maybe pulling ahead with this one. Denying the Roshan to Alliance, who were somewhat counting on it, it feels. Like, to take that and then use the BKB Vlad to try and force the next round of engagements. Eternal Envy now can continue to build towards 6-7 slotted Terrorblade. Get that refresher to rearm his Metamorphosis if need be. Not quite there. It does feel like one of those games that's headed that direction.
Magnus also going for a BKB. I'm not sure whether he got slept or what happened to him in that fight, but they really needed him to deliver.
Yeah, it's been a rough... It's just, again, a game where Magnus has to consistently deliver big time, and the hero's just not quite as reliable as some other initiators, right? Like, you look at, like, Void, the Chronosphere can be whiffed, but it's a much larger AoE to work with. And then the heroes in this game, Brewmaster Split, pretty difficult to mess it up. Like, yeah, you have Micro, but it's not really a skill shot, per se. You just have to make sure you use all your spells. And, well, Grip can be cancelled, but can't really miss it. Does seem a little bit harder for 8 Mother, but that said, without the RP, it's pretty clear that they just can't fight Eternal Envy.
Yeah, they just need really good luck now for him, or lucky multicast.
We'll He'll blink out. He's doing what he can to slow this game down and keep Cloud9 on the back foot as much as possible. Eternal Envy also attempting to do his best to push out the lanes.
And now his investment into BKB and Blaz hasn't really paid off for him. They haven't been able to secure a Roshan off Blaz. He has helped him farm a little bit, but they have the power for that. And then the BKB, it didn't help them win that fight, or it didn't lead to them winning that fight. Although it certainly did help against the blink initiation by Bone 7.
Send Eternal Envy towards the middle lane now. And just Cloud9 actually looks to take down a lane of Rax. 36 minutes in. This could be their timing. 3k gold up on him. He's close to his next item.
I think they can.
They have a pipe as well. I mean, that's a lot of Alliance's damage output.
He's huge with Butterfly, too. 2,000 HP with Butterfly. He can just walk up and use his first life, probably just right-clicking.
And there's no way to remove them. There's no MKB on Loda. That's actually a problem for him. Like, he's lacking for inventory slots.
Well, he can just attack something else, and hopefully it cleaves next to him. Ideally, that's off the back
he
of
does
a
have
good
a
RP.
lot of cleave as well. Battle Fury plus the power.
It's all about the RPs, man. Look out for 8-Mother.
I do think Cloud9 are going to force it with this Aegis, and it seems now they will move in. All grouped up together. They have that Blink Dagger on the Abaddon, so in theory, Finally Die will have he'll definitely have a shot at redemption when the Bulldog goes to the lasso. And they will have the Aegis advantage, so they'll try to push it. Copy Metamorphosis, now deploying the Army of Illusions. The siege will be very quick and very brutal. Just relax, this will be over in a second, says the EE. Take down the tower, but at this point, tower's not that big of a deal compared to the damage of the heroes. It's more just what it signifies. One step closer to Cloud9 for that first lane of Rax, and if they can manage to take this game, it would be a winning record for them to summon after 0-2 start. It would have taken 3 straight to get here. Eternal Envy's gonna force it. Does he get off the Blink shield? Where's that shield? He gets it, but still the skewer even back further. Oh, he managed to sunder. That's trouble. They RP. Loda just too damn slow. Can't really do anything. And now EE's into the base. He's into the back line, chewing through Alliance. Kept alive for ages. May finally go down Sticky Napalm. A bit of a problem for him, but they grip Loda. They're focusing the anti-mage. They can't lose him, but he barely survives for the time being. Blinking forward, will end up going down. He'll buy back instantly. Eternal Envy still having Aegis, so they keep on going. They've lost the Aegis. Now a multicast finding Fada. Has a regen room, but can't retreat. It seems Alliance will end up holding here. Well, do they? Even the Metamorphosis now down. That might be too much. Blink Skewer attempted by 8-Mother. Won't connect on the hero that he really wanted, but he does manage to go on Eternal Envy. Just sunders casually and keeps on just chewing through buildings. Melee Rax being focused. 5 Sticky Napalm charges up on him. Not in range for him anymore. He will be forced back, but Lasso's cooled down. They don't have a shield ready. It was used earlier in this fight, so it's up to Bone 7 to turn it, which he will do with the Blink Stop. Now Eternal Envy at long last falls, but they got what they came for, the Rax, and it doesn't seem good enough for Alliance just to get a couple of return kills. They'll need an objective, but I don't know if they claim one off of this.
Good fight for both teams.
That was I didn't mention 2 of the buybacks, just to jump in real quick. That was a triple buyback for Alliance, not just Loda.
Still, they were up against the guns, though, with the recently completed Butterfly, the Aegis. Like, I thought it was very close to game over there. Very nice Blink Shield by Abaddon, and then Magnus actually hesitated with the RP the first time. He, like, Blink, Skewered, got sundered, and then RP'd. If he RPs immediately before the sunder gets off, maybe they kill him the first time and bring down the Aegis very, very early on instead of much later on in the fight.
Yeah, unfortunately he didn't, and not only was it a triple buyback, it was a double dieback, because the Crystal Maid and Bat Rider died again. So their item progression will be pretty much halted. Bulldog was closing in on Sight the Vice or Lincoln Sphere. That's not going to be coming anytime soon. And, well, less important for the Crystal Maiden, but looks like Misery was building what seems to be a Hex of his own.
I think
Again, could be double Lincoln.
Magnus needs BK, or Refresher. Screw the BKB. They need to lock down the TB.
Sunder is just such a game changer, man.
He shouldn't be allowed to get it off, though, to be fair.
It was even nerfed in the latest patch, where it has that longer cast time. But
Yeah.
it also has longer range. So, I mean, a pseudo-nerf, I guess. But it hasn't stopped Eternal Envy. He's managed to find the Sunders, and this also does go back to the question of how do they deal with his Butterfly, and I guess the double Hex will be the solution. If they can get to the point where they have them.
Hexes are not that great for Abaddon, though.
Yeah. Can just shield
And
off.
he has a BKB. So they just need MKB on Loda, but if he goes MKB, he won't have Butterfly. If he goes Butterfly, he won't have Heart. So, I mean, he just...
It's kind of the problem that anti-mages generally run into, because they get the Battle Fury, which is needed to split push, but doesn't really offer you much in, like, toe-to-toe combat. Unless there's an RP. If there's a great RP, then everything's different, but that's a lot of ifs. It seems Cloud9 might think they can win this game right now. 41 minutes in. They group up together top. Maybe they just go for a tier 2 and wait for the next Roshan. That would be the safer play, but they do have a double damage room bottled on Eternal Envy. Metamorphosis ready to go. Not seeing Alliance defending this particular tower. Maybe the high ground they can, but the Blink Clap finds Bulldog. No follow-up.
Yeah, maybe the high ground, but at the same time, Loda's pushing bottom, so he can actually push. Not as fast as them, but close.
They smoke, and they head... Where do they go?
Fake back, smoke around through mid.
Well, all the way bottom. Are they just looking for a pick-off, I guess. Are they just going to try to breach the base? They have creeps in, I think. Metamorphosis is not used. Eternal Envy brings a sudden surprise in your base. And before you know it, say goodbye to your racks. Melee going to start to drop. They find the right target in the Terrorblade. They got the real hero. Now RP'd. There was a nice aphotic shield to cancel that lasso, but EE just stands strong. They need more lockdown to deal with him. He manages to get off the Thunder, and that's pretty much the fight. And with that, the game. Loda dead. That's a triple dieback with going back to the last fight and dating back to it. Cloud9 looking to advance to 3 and 2 here in the Summit 2. They'll take down the Rain Tracks mid. Everything hunky-dory for them. They've really bounced back, and for Alliance, not quite out of the tournament yet, but it's getting close. They'll try and duke it out a little bit more, but they're literally being herded into the well. It's a nice skewer from 8 Mother. Fodder with that invasion and AC. Actually, no way. No way does he live through that. He's gonna live through it. Unbelievable. 8 Mother chasing him down, but Eternal Envy's there with the slows. How the hell do you get skewered into Fountain, tank it for literally 5+ seconds, and still survive? A sign of just how strong C9 are after picking up the Aegis, after multiple good fights going their way. Fountain sundering the enemy Magnus. Cloud9, truly no mercy mode engaged.
Didn't we go through this last game? Just ban it?
I think after this game, people will.
Just ban it.
Good lord.
Just ban it. Magnus also shows some of his weaknesses. Medium risk, high reward hero, I'd say. And sometimes he pays off, sometimes he doesn't. This game, he was under a lot of pressure to deliver at that Roshan fight, and he just could not come up big. That was, I think, the game changer right there.
Well, with that will wrap up Cloud9 versus Alliance. Our final match of the day, I believe, is going to be Empire versus Secret.
That's
yeah, Empire versus Secret. It's scheduled to start in 5 minutes, if I'm not mistaken. Or is it an hour?
5 minutes.
5 minutes. 5 minutes. So, yeah, getting my time zones mixed up. We'll be back after a short break, guys. The Summit 2 by G2A.com continues in just a moment. Stay with us.